You pair that with Zuccarello. Zuccarello's been on fire. And basically, X improvement over this year is just very promising to see. So I like where they're going with their young guys. Then you got Rossi, Boldy that's going to come up, and I think that's one of the reasons why they didn't sell the farm, is because you know what you have coming up. You know that it's going to take a little bit of time, as well as the expansion draft is this year. So you don't want to sit there, bring in someone, maybe a rental, maybe 2-year rental, but then have to sit there and decide, oh, well, am I gonna protect him? I'm gonna protect one of our other guys. We're already in kind of that medium area where we'll probably lose Talbot, or we're gonna lose Dumba to Seattle, and I could just see it'll be interesting to see what happens this off season. But
yeah, really decides who they want to protect in that expansion draft, because remember when the Vegas one went down, I think they made that trade with Alex Tuck.
We got burned.
Yep, and it didn't work out, obviously, but because again they were trying to protect Dumba and Spurgeon and some of these other players. So
Granlund and
right,
everybody that's off the Nino.
And again, Tuck has been
off the team,
pretty solid. So
yeah,
you guys.
I just think that we're setting ourselves up for a very, very good team in the next few years.
I agree. I forgot about Rossi.
Who
cares?
Rossi.
So,
he got the big C, and he's honestly been struggling with it to the point.
Well, it was announced that he was really hit hard.
Yeah, he was hit hard, like lung capacity, stamina, all that stuff is now in question because of it. So yeah, he was.
I can't imagine being a professional athlete and working out as much as they do, and then all of a sudden taking them out of that long of a break, and on top of having an illness, a respiratory illness.
Yeah, he was.
You got to think that's also got to hit him psychologically too.
Yeah,
so.
he was hit pretty hard with the big C. So there's a lot of kind of question marks around him right now. Does this guy, can he be out there for a minute 15 for a shift, or is he going to be a guy where he kind of like fourth liner where he's only out there for 30 to 40 seconds?
Well, I think it just also put him back here because they want to try to rebuild that stamina if they can.
Oh, they already said they're not going to touch him until training camp in October.
But even then, what they thought his timetable was, it probably got pushed back another year.
Yeah.
Kind of like injuries and for
Well, he was a borderline up with the Wild, at least the Iowa Wild player straight out of the draft, and then once he got the big C, then they're like, we're not touching this guy until October.
Because they're going to want him to try to rebuild any kind of endurance or stamina that he may have lost because of this.
Well, coming out of the draft, they were talking about how he's one of the most pro-ready players of the draft.
Oh yeah,
he led the OHL in scoring. He's the highest scoring OHL player, the Ontario Hockey League.
And that is pretty. Those guys are pretty close to the pros already.
Yeah,
so,
who came out of the Ontario Hockey League that was the highest scorer before that? Connor McDavid. So, there you go.
We ain't saying, but we just saying.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's the next Connor McDavid. I'm not going to get near that.
Oh, heck, yeah,
yeah, but I'm just saying that was the guy that he unseated. So,
one of the biggest holes though was center for the Wild, and to sit there and have X improvement and the prospect of Rossi,
right,
coming over here and contributing, it's like, man, did we just luck out?
Yeah,
hopefully,
right. Hopefully all is well with just the guy's health in general. So,
I haven't seen any negative stories saying that he's not been recovering just fine.
Right.
So everything that I've been seeing is the guy is just fine right now at this moment. I mean, training camp is 4 or 5 months away, so who knows. But I'll go on, and I will say right now I would put the Wild at a 5. for the future next year, I put them at a 7.5. Because right now the Wild, they are beating the teams they're supposed to beat. You're beating the Ducks. You're beating the Coyotes. You're beating the Kings. You go 500 with the Sharks. Who they're not beating is a Stanley Cup champion, probable or favorite, I would say, and that is the Colorado Avalanche. Every time you play the Colorado Avalanche, you're losing games 6-4, 5-3, 5-4. You're giving up way too many goals. You had a great game against them this last game.
They're just loaded with scorers.
Yeah, so they are not, like the Colorado Avalanche, I put them at a 10. The Minnesota Wild this year, I put them at a 5. Yeah, you're beating the teams you're supposed to beat. This Honda West Division or West Division, whatever you want to call it, is the weakest division out of the 4 in hockey right now. If the Wild were in the East or the Central or the Canadian, the North Division, whatever you want to call it, they would be a playoff bubble team, maybe in, maybe not. The reason why they're in the position right now is two things. The play of Kirill Kaprizov and the play of two tangent number one goaltenders in Cam Talbot and Kaapo Kakkonen. The fact that we have two number one goaltenders, or two goaltenders playing like they could be number one goaltenders for a team, is great. And then you look at Kirill Kaprizov. I got his rookie numbers pulled up right now. Erik, what offensive categories do you think Kirill Kaprizov is leading in? And just for rookies.
And rookies?
Yeah, just rookies.
I'm going to go goals, assists, plus or minus, ice time, penalties.
Let me rephrase that. Your options are points, goals, assists, plus minus.
Oh. All of them.
3 out of the 4. Points aren't even close.
Point.
Because,
he's ahead by 7. I'm looking.
Yeah, it's 31. Second place is at 24. Goals is a little closer. He's at 14. Second place is at 11. And assists, he's tied for first at 17.
Plus minus, he's 4th.
Yeah.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Yep.
Plus minus is Keandre Miller, defenseman in New York Rangers.
Local boy, I think.
Yeah,
I think he's is he in Lakeville? Or?
Yeah, he's got 12, and then Kaprizov's got 8. That's a plus minus. So plus minus is like batting average in baseball. It tells you something, but don't put all your eggs in that basket.
Remember, a guy who was a lot of high in plus minus was who was that dude who used to be with the Canadiens? Was here for like half a year.
Fuck if I remember.
Last year, I think. Can't even. Nah, shouldn't have even brought it up if none of us can even come up with it.
That proves your point. Is plus minus this guy was up there.
He
nobody
used to have
can
it,
remember.
but he was
him.
playing on a line with guys like Pacioretty.
Yeah, plus minus is like wins in baseball for pitchers. It's all about the team aspect, the team input. It's not just about you. So,
well, I don't know. You can have an effect on wins in baseball. It's not a guarantee that it's
a plus minus. The only way you can have effect on your plus minus if you go out there and score goals or get assists.
Well, like
or give up a goal
in like batting average. The DJ LeMahieu led the American League, I believe, last year in it, and he was again not the reason, but he was one of the best hitters in the American League. So
I'll finish up with the Wild. If you're listening right now and you don't know anything about the Wild, or you're a casual fan, or if you're kind of more than a casual fan, you'll go to a couple games a year, you got a Zach Parise or Ryan Suter jersey in your closet right now, you're a grown man, fucking don't wear a jersey with somebody's name on it. Just kidding, I got like 5. But
There's the guy that has 5 jerseys.
Yeah, so Matt Boldy and Kirill Kaprizov. Those are the two that the future of the Wild, the next 2-3 years are going to be built around. They're both goal-scoring wingers, and it's just insane. Matt Boldy, Team USA World Juniors, scored like 4 goals in a game. Fucking reason why Team USA had the run they had in the World Juniors. Kirill Kaprizov, one of the highest scoring wingers, or just straight up highest scoring players in the KHL in Russia, finally comes over. Matt Boldy out of Boston College. First game, I believe, tonight or tomorrow night. Tonight being Wednesday night, tomorrow night being Thursday night, with the Iowa Wild. I don't think the Wild, if they sign him to a contract this year and send him down to Iowa, you're already this guy's already burning a year in his contract. So might as well have him play 3, 4, 5 games in Iowa, get that NHL speed going on, because the difference between college and the NHL is the speed and the hits is massive. Eric, it's like college to NFL. Like, you know that. Yeah. It's I mean, at least in baseball, you get that progressive high single A to finally the majors. But in the NHL and NFL, going from college to pros, there's a massive difference in between the speed and the hitting in that game. So you keep...
and everything's more confined.
Yeah.
I mean, some of these college teams are playing on massive Olympic.
Yeah, the Olympic-sized ice.
Yeah.
Any Gopher was playing half their season on Olympic-sized ice.
And it's an adjustment.
Yeah. Which, I mean, makes their stamina better because they were skating further and they were going further on line changes at the end of a shift and everything.
But again, there's a reason why a lot of college games are more high scoring. So.
Yeah, but this kid that was tearing it up in the World Juniors for Team USA, tearing it up for Boston College, playing on NHL-sized ice.
And some would say that's how Team USA was so successful in like the Vancouver Olympics.
Yeah.
It's because that was played on an NHL-sized arena as opposed to the international, which all the other countries were
bitching about. Yep. So
except for Canada, those are NHLers as well. So.
Yeah. So Matt Boldy, Kirill Kaprizov, if you're Billy Guerin, he was, as Brian alluded to earlier, I told Brian earlier that Billy Guerin was on a podcast. I'm sorry about this podcast. I don't got your name up at the moment. But this was his exact quote was, I'm not going to trade our future for rental players who are going to blow out of this town in a couple months. Which
just could.
Yeah. I'm all for that. You keep the Matt Boldys, you keep the Kirill Kaprizovs, the Jordan Greenways, he's not really showing up on the stat sheet, but it's just his physical play, his hockey IQ. Yeah. He lost a bunch of weight this offseason, and he just seems to be in the right places at the right time. Just like Nico Strum. There was like 3 weeks of Nico Strum just being in the right place at the right time, high hockey IQ, never giving up on a play, even on a dump and chase. He was the second man in.
Well, I remember us talking like when they traded Tuck to Las Vegas. We were kind of bummed because it seemed like, again, he wasn't really scoring goals, but it seemed like he was always finding the puck in like the slot or in scoring chances.
Yeah.
So
I mean, when Nico Strum actually scored the other day, or it was like 5 days ago, it was like he never gave up on that play. It was a dump in. He went in, got it, put a shot on net, and went in. And I thought, thank God, this kid has been in the right places at the right time. It just doesn't, work out for him. It's like in baseball when you have that like hitless streak.
Oh no, what happens in like the comparison I would make is like say like, and this happened to like Max Kepler a lot when he was kind of young. He would barrel up a ball.
Yeah, you would smoke
and it would go right to the center fielder,
yeah.
right to the center field, right to the right field, right to the shortstop.
That was literally my comparison. Was Nico Strum was getting these high chance looks, but it was going right to the goaltender. And the same thing in baseball when you got a guy that went 0 for his last 14, but all of his balls were hard hit, straight on the sweet spot of the barrel. Just went right to the second baseman, or right to the right fielder, or just
shy of a home run.
Yeah,